All right, you guys, welcome back to the DM and Friends. I am DM Angelo, and today this is going to be my first episode in a series that I'm going to be calling NPC Character Classes from Dragon Magazine and beyond for first edition AD&D. There was a whole slew of these articles in Dragon Magazine that really brought up some cool character classes that were meant for NPCs, but like some of us use them in our games for PCs, which I actually do, and I'll point out the ones that I allow. But they were originally made for their NPC classes. They're not character classes, and these were designed for us, dungeon masters, and to make NPC builds faster and easier to run and way more effective and believable. So today we're going to start out with the Bandit. And the Bandit originally came about in Dragon Magazine, issue number 63 by Tom Armstrong and Roger E. Moore. They did do a reprint in the Best of Dragon, and so it's on page 4 of Best of Dragon 4, page 4, on page 4. So they reprinted a lot of these really cool classes, and in this particular issue I'll go over a lot of them, but there's other NPC classes in here, but we'll start with the Bandit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about why this class exists, and go into the meat of the actual class, talk about experience and their special skills, and then I'm going to go into how it can be used in your game, and talk about how I've used them in my games too. So let's get right into it. So why does this class exist at all? I think we all have fought bandits, and bandits can be just this fighter or this thief, and they're not super believable, and they're just a wandering monster, right? So this adds a little bit of fluff and meat to that kind of encounter if you want to use this NPC class. So this really, I believe it exists so that you don't have to, create motivations on the fly, overbuild NPC fighters, or treat organized crime like it's just a wandering monster. The Bandit this class is designed to be competent, self-interested, and dangerous, super dangerous in groups. So, that's the point for this. So the core concept, in world, a bandit is not just a guy with a sword. These are highwaymen, these are deserters, former mercenaries, failed soldiers, displaced locals. They know the terrain that they're in. They pick their fights. And most importantly, that they don't fight fair. And bandits don't want glory. They want a couple things. They want leverage. They want loot. And they want to live another day to fight. So keep those things in mind as you're building bandits. So let's talk about the core class breakdown of bandits. So like I said on page 4 of the Best of Dragon 4, it goes into this, and bandits essentially are a fighter thief combination. They start out with 8 hit die, a D8 hit die per level, and they have to achieve second level, they have 1,800 experience needed. So it's that middle ground between 2,000 for a fighter and the 1,250 for a thief. And they also start with, well, I should take that back. So they start with an D8 plus 1 per level. So it's a D8 plus 1. So they have a top of a 9, and a low of a 2. So for hit points to start. So that's pretty awesome, pretty cool. It kind of already gives them a leg up, and they're super close to fighter. So anyways, and their titles are something like, first level, they're a looter, they're a raider, marauder, highwayman, outlaw, desperado, reaver, brigand, bandit lord. So really, really, really cool start for these guys. They're not just a D8 or a D6, or thief. They're equivalent, or even to almost a ranger. So anyways, bandits. So these are the class abilities that bandits have, and these make them. You can picture them being kind of outlaws in the wild, along the road, raiding, or holding up caravans. But they have these abilities, like so starting number one, bandits can climb as a thief of equal level, so that's kind of cool. They have the ability to hide in natural terrain using camouflage, so kind of like a hide in shadows of a thief, but having to do with outside in the bushes and stuff like that. They can do pits and snares, so they can find and remove traps that are outdoorsy types traps. Bandits are adept to covering their tracks, so that's really cool. They can, kind of like a pass without trace. It even references that in here. Let me see. It goes on there. So bandits also surprise others on a roll of 1 to 4. So that's pretty huge. Instead of 1 to 3 on a D6, their notch is 1 higher. So that's pretty cool. They can track persons or creatures in the outdoors as a ranger can, but they have a base of 75% chance of success, which I think is actually a little higher than a ranger. They also have the ability to, when a bandit is evading pursuit in the outdoor environment, they have a higher chance of escaping. So there's a percentage there. There's a metrics in there, and you guys can look it up. Get this article and check it out. But and it goes into kind of the alignment factors of these. So they talk a lot about there really can be any alignment that's not lawful, and bandits may be of any neutral or evil alignment. It says here. It does give an example of a chaotic good or a neutral good, alignment, and it gives the exact tradition of Robin Hood. So they could have different purposes. Maybe it's a group of bandits that are inside of some type of evil aligned region where the ruler is lawful evil or chaotic evil, and they're rebelling against that, and they are essentially good, and they're I guess bandits with morals, but and a purpose. So they really are kind of open-ended in that aspect, and I believe that they also are able to use any type of weapon. So we'll use all sorts of missile weapons, bows, slings, blah blah blah. Permissible hand-to-hand weapons include, and there's a huge list of that. They're mainly stuff that is very compact and kind of ready to go at any any given time. And then also any magic item is not prevented to fighters. Not prohibited to fighters are usable. So realistically, that's kind of the breakdown of bandits, and I can see I can see them being super useful in any campaign. So let's talk about bandits in your campaign. So let me give you 3 ways that you can kind of throw them in a campaign. So number one, let's say it was a lieutenant that recurring, a lieutenant that escapes maybe some type of a lord or something, and comes back smarter as a bandit and is rebelling against this lord, this evil lord. Maybe there could be a regional bandit faction that is controlling roads and trade. Not really random encounters, but economic pressure of some sort. Maybe former soldiers turned bandits after a war. Maybe there was a war loss somewhere, and they lost all their backing, so now they became bandits, and so they're very dangerous because they still use formations and that should be pretty scary for anybody you know, on the receiving end of that. You can, I think you can do bandits. I mean, there's the classic bandits that you meet on the road, and if you use these NPCs, they're going to be a lot more deadly. But there's all, I think the examples are pretty limitless, and I think they'll fit really well, and they do in any kind of Greyhawk World of Greyhawk setting, any area. I think they would, you know, controlling various regions or locales. So I think that if you start using these, you know, it really gives you the opportunity to not use bandits as a mindless mob, right? So, you know, these guys are going to retreat. These guys are going to come back. These guys are going to use tactics that are not just, oh, I approach the party. They're gonna use all kinds of, they're gonna use the terrain. They're gonna use and they're also going to possibly be integrated with different towns. You might see them at taverns or inns, and unless they have a bandit camp that they are all kind of being you know, they or have kind of built up. So you might not know who actually is a bandit until they actually attack. Maybe they wear something to cover their face. I mean, I can totally see that. But so yeah, the final verdict with Bandit, I think this is a great NPC class, and like I said, I could see this also being as a player character class, in the sense of maybe it's their previous career was them being a bandit, stealing and robbing, and then want to go to you know, join a party of some sort, and kind of get away from that bad lifestyle if they were in. Or I could also see somebody running a campaign where it is in a, like I said earlier, it is in a region that is controlled by an evil lord, and the whole campaign is around rebelling. I mean, that could be super interesting. I've never done that as a dungeon master or played in that, but man, that's a great idea. So anyways, all right, so the final verdict on this, the Bandit class, NPC class, is simple, flexible, and I think it's super underused. It'll turn your random bandit fights into ongoing problems, because they're going to come back. They're going to retreat. They're going to come back, and then come back stronger or with different tactics. And that's what a good NPC class does. All right, you guys. Well, next week I'm going to dive into another class. I'll probably be doing the Bounty Hunter, which I think that's an interesting NPC class. Yeah, I'm going to get through all these. There's dozens and dozens and dozens of NPC classes that came into the Dragon magazine, which I think are super cool. So I'm going to share them with you guys, go through them, and talk about them. So if you remember these back in the day, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear how people have used these, because I have used Bandit NPC classes in the past, but not a super huge amount of them. And I'd love to hear your guys' experiences of them, because I think these were an actual treasure in Dragon magazine. And you know, so let me see in the comments if you guys have used them. If you haven't, if you're going to, I'd love to hear your guys' experience. So, all right, you guys. Well, remember to like, subscribe, and as always, take care of each other, and game on. All right, you guys. Bye-bye.